Hello everyone. Lifestyle-related diseases such as obesity and diabetes are known as national diseases in Japan today. And the most effective prevention and improvement for those diseases are mainly changing diets as well as lifestyle habits. Today, we will introduce a well-balanced, delicious menu consists of 3 dishes and a soup for prevention and improvement of those diseases with 500 to 600 kilocalories per meal, considered for reduced salt, cholesterol intake, and balanced nutrition as well. Meal of 3 dishes with a soup has been a traditional gastronomic culture in Japan since ancient times. It refers to a meal comes with a soup such as miso soup or clear broth soup, plus 3 dishes including 1 main dish and 2 side dishes. Adding some pickles and rice, Japanese main diet, you have a very well-balanced meal. This menu is comprised of rice, recreates the image of bush clover, one of the 7 autumn flowers in Japan, plus a local specialty of Hakata. The foundation dish, the main dish, the first side dish, the second side dish, and the soup. We'll start with the main dish, chicken stew with root vegetables. Since we won't be frying the chicken but boiling it, the resulting dish will be lower in calories. First, prepare the chicken. Remove the fat from between the meat and the skin to make an even healthier dish. Chop chicken into large bite-sized pieces. They should be about the same thickness, so slice open thicker pieces as needed. Peel the lotus root and soak in water with vinegar to remove bitterness. Quarter, then roughly chop. To remove bitterness and to prevent oxidization, return to vinegar water and let soak. Shave burdock root with the back of a knife. Chop into large bite-sized pieces and soak in vinegar water. Quarter carrots and chop into large bite-sized pieces. Peel taros and cut into large bite-sized pieces. Rub with salt, then rinse. Once you've given the taros a salt rub to remove stickiness, place in a pot with water. Set over heat and boil. Reconstitute shiitake mushrooms beforehand. Cut off root ends. Konjac is prepared with a gelling agent, so it's important to parboil it. Use a spoon to chop into large bite-sized pieces. This increases the surface area, which allows flavors to seep in. Add konjac to pot and parboil. Remove strings from string beans, blanch, and then chop into 5-centimeter pieces. Cut the string beans on a slight angle. Since we're not using oil in this recipe, we'll use the Japanese broth instead. First, add just a meeting to the broth. Once it's warm, add sugar and stir to dissolve. Add soy sauce. Add the chicken. Add the konjac, lotus root, and burdock. Add shiitake mushrooms for savoriness. Add the carrots and gently simmer until cooked through. Once all ingredients except the taros are cooked, transfer the broth to a separate pot. Add taros to cook. As you add the taros later, they won't crumble. Keep cooking until their surfaces turn glossy. Finally, add the parboiled string beans. Next, clover rice. When making seasoned rice, the amount of salt should be 1% of the weight of the uncooked rice. For the clover rice, we'll add barley. Barley adds vitamin B1 and dietary fiber. Rinse rice and barley and place in a pot. For the liquid, 2/3 is broth obtained by cooking azuki beans and 1/3 is water. Add sake and salt. Add halfway cooked azuki beans. Let sit for 30 minutes. Put it on high heat first. Bring to a boil. Stir thoroughly, scooping up from the bottom. Turn heat to low and let cook for 12 minutes. Add ginkgo nuts. Cover and steam for 5 minutes. Mix the rice, scooping up from the bottom. Transfer rice to a serving bowl. 150 grams per serving. Garnish with roasted sesame seeds. The first side dish, dressed mushrooms with grated daikon. Prepare 3 types of mushrooms: fresh shiitake, elingi, and shimeji. Separate root parts and place in a bowl. Cut normally. Split it into half, and it will easily be separated. Stir to coat with olive oil and the salted rice malt, and let them sit for 10 minutes. Dressing the mushrooms in olive oil and the salted rice malt makes mushrooms tender. Bake in a 180-degree oven for 5 minutes. Grate daikon radish. Spread out on a bamboo mat to wick away some of the moisture. Dry roast dried baby sardines in an ungreased pan. Finish the dressed mushroom. Plate baked mushrooms. Combine grated daikon and roasted baby sardines and serve over mushrooms. Garnish with a slice of kabosu lemon. Next, clear soup with winter melon and shrimp. The salt content of clear soup should be 0.8% of that of broth. The precise use of broth creates a delicious yet low-sodium soup. Scoop out the winter melon. Scrape off the waxy coating and cut the skin into decorative shapes. Rub with baking soda and chop into large bite-sized pieces. Then parboil. Peel shrimp, devein, chop into 2 or 3 pieces. Sprinkle the salted rice malt mixed with sake and let sit for a while to remove odors and increase savoriness. Blanch in boiling water. Lightly boil mitsuba parsley. Once the broth is boiling, add light-colored soy sauce. Turn heat to low and add the salted rice malt. Add shrimp, boiled winter melon, and simmer on low for about 10 minutes. Bring to a boil again, and then add potato starch dissolved in water and stir to thicken. Drizzle with ginger juice to finish. Pour into a serving bowl and garnish with mitsuba parsley. Next, the second side dish, figs in sesame seed sauce. First, grind the sesame seeds. If you grind the seeds well enough, they will produce oil. Stir in taihaku rice-based miso, broth, reduced meating, and vinegar to the ground sesame. Peel figs and slice into wedges. Figs are packed with soluble fiber and are perfect for healing constipation and regulating the intestines. Simply cut them into rhombuses. The key points to create a menu are to first decide on rice, the staple ingredient, or a main dish. Then choose side dishes followed by a soup, and finally add additional food items as needed. Create variety in your menus, not to make similar dishes with the same ingredients and seasoning. Consider how to arrange the food when plating. Think of the color scheme to create a feast for the eyes. Once you decided what to make, check what you have on hand before shopping so you don't buy what you don't need. Nakamura Gakuen University Nutrition Clinic is engaged in nutrition support to help improve conditions of the patients with life-related diseases such as obesity and diabetes.